What up, YouTube world? Welcome back to Foster Home Feds and Fighting. It's your boy Hugo. First of all, I want to say never get comfortable being comfortable. Things can always change at any given moment. So get it while they're getting it's good. Um, Anything can go bad at any given moment, or it can go left at any given moment. So just stay humble. You know what I'm saying? Embrace the moment, good or bad, and accept what you can't control. You know what I'm saying? These are a lot of things I had to learn coming out of this rehab that I just finished doing with the story I was just telling, right? So the 90 days had me understanding things about myself that I didn't really understand yet in life. Like I said, I'm also addicted to the street life, to fast money, just to doing it my own way. The law did not matter. That's who I was against. I always felt it was me against the law. It wasn't me against nobody else. But that was just came with the territory, all the hating and all that. But that didn't matter to me. Um, but with that being said, um, so me learning about my life really changed a lot of things, the way that I outlooked in life from now on to this day. So like I said, there's things about me I had to learn while I was in rehab, and even though I wasn't using drugs and wasn't a drug addict, I still had things I was addicted to, like fast money, and everything that came with it, the lifestyle, the everything that comes with it, all the good and all the bad. So at the same time, you're always getting money, but at the same time, you're always watching your back. And at the end, that wasn't really something that was kind of like digging after a while after doing it for so many years, right? But anyways, let's get back to the story. First and foremost, like I said, they finally let me go from rehab to at the time it was my girl, right? And she was solely responsible for me. They couldn't even tell her enough how much that if anything goes bad, like if I do anything wrong or if I run or some, that she'll get in trouble for it. She had to sign some kind of paper or whatever, because she was kind of like taking me out into her custody, right? Well, you gotta understand this. I'm not one of those guys that make their girls do anything like that. Um, I've always, from a young age, at like the age of 18, even though yet at sometimes I was homeless because of bad decisions, bad money making moves, or not having a hustle yet. But once I got a hang of it, I always had a little spot. I always had my own things. I always had my own cars. I always had my own houses. I didn't have to rely on nobody. I never, you know what I'm saying, try to milk off the next man. That wasn't my thing. I always had my own hustle, right? So that when I got in trouble, old girls started taking care of us because I had no work skills, no ambition for work. I was not that I was lazy, but it was such of a new world to me. You know what I'm saying? Working and stuff. And I know it might even sound funny. You guys might be like, "Man, you a 35-year-old dude that came and work." You're right. When you look back now, yeah, you're right. That is funny. But at the same time, this is the life that I was living, so I knew no better. So I'm doing what I had to do. Now that I had to switch it, you got to understand that little bit of money that people make doing jobs, that tripped me out. I couldn't believe it. I was thinking like, man, some of the clothes I'll buy are more expensive than this paycheck that I worked already for 2 weeks for. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so once I got released to her, there are some conditions. I was on the ankle monitor. I couldn't go for, I think it was I was on there for, I think maybe like 4 to 5 months on the ankle monitor, if I can remember. I think it was 4 to 5 months. The first month or two, a couple months, I couldn't do nothing. I could only stay in the house. I had an ankle monitor, so I couldn't go nowhere. I couldn't have people over. Um, they would call me at a certain time, and I had to answer the phone. We had to get a landline, right? Um, so I had to do that for the first couple months. Now they said if I do good in the first couple months, then they're gonna I forgot the name of it, but they said where I could start doing simple things like going to either AA meetings or religion, right? So I believe in God, so you're gonna hear how I learned to believe in God, and I solely believe in God. No one could tell me the way that I live my life or the way that I believe in Him is wrong, because to me, God is love. So other than that, well, that'll be another topic. But for right now, so that's what they'd say I can go after a couple of months. Now I did good, so every day I had to call them And then I had a call every day. I had a call for every day while I was on this. While I was on this, I had to call this number, right? This FBI number, and they would if my number came up, I think I forgot my number was. It was like an M31 or something. That's not it, but I'm just giving something right like that, like an example. But I would have to call this number, and then the recorder would say towns. It would say Modesto, and it would start saying numbers, and or it'd say series, and it'll start saying numbers. And if your number got called up, then you'd have to go down to the little thing. You'd have to go down to the where the place is at, so you can get drug tested, right? So I had to do that every day. I had to call because it was random drug tests. So every day you had to call this number every day. And if you don't call that number and you miss it and you don't show up, if your number gets called, that's a violation. Anyways, so let me tell you something real quick. I used to smoke weed, right? All the time, every day. That's just what I did. I would smoke weed and just sell drugs, right? But when I got in trouble, I had a weed card, and I would tell them, well, I got the weed card, and the feds like, well, we don't care. And then I was like, well, I can't smoke weed. They're like, well, yeah, you can smoke weed. And I'm like, I could, because I have a card. They're like, nah, if you want to be in jail. I was like, yeah, man, I can kind of quit that. You know what I mean? Had to let that go for a couple years, right? So I was like, it was by force, not by choice. But I was like, so when they told me that, I was thinking like, oh, snaps. Now, mind you, I've never went through my life through any problems sober. So that was very difficult for me. Like I would smoke and drink, um, to if I'm hearing any kind of shit I don't want to hear nothing, I just smoke my problems away. That man, I ain't trying to hear all that shit. But like I said, back to them, we having a call for this number. Well, every day I was calling this number. Every day I was calling this number for, like I said, the first 60 days. I think I couldn't go nowhere. I had to just stay at home. They would call me. I would call them back. I checked this number every day. Boom, boom. Things were going on. I couldn't even get a job at this time. At this time, I couldn't get a job. So, old girl was the one that was taking care of business, right? Now, I started. Now, once my I think 60 days came up, then I went to the next level, and that was when I can go. I think that's when I can start going to AA meetings in church only though. So I had to do that for like another month, and I was doing good. I started going to AA and NA. Well, I went to NA, but look, I'm gonna tell you the reason why I would go to those. Not only because I'm allowed to leave, because if you're somewhere in your house every day for like 60 days, you're gonna want to start going out somewhere that you don't care where you gotta go. So I remember I started picking going to NA, and the reason why I like going to NA is the stories they would tell me. Cause see, that's the other side of the fence that's going on. See, I was the supplier, right? I was the guy out there drug dealing, hustling, right? So I didn't see the way they were living, but I knew the way they were living due to family members of foster parents that I knew, or friends, family that we knew growing up, how they use drugs, right? But I used to like hearing the story because I was out there in the slums with the drug deal the drug addicts. I was out there with them. I mean, we're serving them, but at the same time, we're out there every day. They're knowing you face by face. You kind of create some kind of rapport with them, right? So, especially the knocks that we're serving that come back to you every day. So when I hear other people's stories, I was kind of think like, man, that's pretty. It started making me think like, man, that's like I was a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like people already having bad vices and going through their own shit in life, and I was a piece of shit just serving them that and making them keep going down that rabbit hole, right? But anyway, so I started doing the NA meetings with NA meetings as well, and then I would go to church, right? And then after I was doing that for like till that 30 days, it was shorter every time. So that 30 days, then after that, now I was able to start looking for a job and leave. It was called curfew. This one was called curfew. The third final step was called curfew, right? So I would be able to leave from like 5 in the morning, and I had to be back at home by like 7 or something. I had to be in my house. Between them, and I had to give them a call because the beeper would go off if I didn't. Now, mind you, at this time, I'm going to court still, right? I'm going to court. So when I'm going to court, the everything matters in the fast from your childhood. Everything matters. Me being a foster home matters. At this time, I wasn't on probation. That mattered. That helped me. In other words, me never going to prison, that helped me. I've been in jail. I've done several jail stints. Several jail stints. Within periodical times, right? So it's not like I done some jail time. But what I'm saying is I've never been in prison. Unfortunately, that's God. That's luck and God, right? I think he had something better for me. That's the reason why I believe that it was God, not really luck. Like I was saying though, so I was going to court. I was going to court still on this case, right? And then everything matters. So they're over there just knocking off the things that are good for me. I'm not on probation. I wasn't when I got arrested. I never been to prison. I grew up in foster homes. All these are like kind of like they're saying I'm kind of a special circumstance and stuff, right? Because the way that I was brought up, the way that I lived. Um, so my lawyer, she's telling me, she's like, look, they're trying to give you 5, and I was like, damn man. I go 5. I didn't even do nothing. Like, can we get a video? Because I told him, can you get a video? The girl said that I did it at the Walgreens on the West, right off Paradise. And I was like, I told my lawyer, hey, can you get your investigator to go try to get a video of the date of the incident, so then we can discredit her, so maybe they can drop my case because that'll show that she was completely lying because I never showed up at a Walgreens, right? So she goes, okay, well, check. We tried that, but they came back. Unfortunately, it was already like 6 months, and then Walgreens is booty and ghetto. They don't keep stuff that long. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, so I was kind of like, damn, man, I had that going against me. And then I had some prior stuff like sales and stuff on my record, so that was going against me though as well, right? So eventually, my lawyer's like, yeah, we got I can get you down to 5. That's what they're asking right now. And I was like, man, 5. I don't really think that's fair. You know what I mean? I go, I just got caught with some guns. They weren't even stolen or used in a crime, right? I just had them in the possession in case someone tried to harm me. I could protect myself because I do believe in the amendment where you can have your guns, right? We're down to bear arms, but that's another thing. So I believe in that, right? But we kept trying to fight it. We kept fighting it. We kept fighting it. Now, mind you, I ended up getting a job. Here's a real quick side story. I got a job. I've never had a full-time job in my life, right? And this sounds crazy, but it's true. This really happened. I really went through this, right? So I ended up going through a temp, right? Well, they got me a job. Now I ended up going to the job. It was at a chocolate factory out here in Oakdale, right? The town, right? It was Scones Eyes or something like that. But the first 4 hours, they had me just cut up a bag of the macadamia chocolate ones and just jumping in a big old bin. And I was thinking in my mind like, oh man, this is a job. I go, what? And I was like, I can do this all day. This is nothing. They're paying me for this. Let's get it. So that man, I can do this stuff all day, right? 4 hours come, mind you, I've never worked a whole day. Four hours come. Then they go to your lunch. I go to my lunch. I eat big. I come back. Now they tell us, okay, we're shutting the machines down. Now we're gonna sanitize it. I go, well, what do you mean by that, right? They go, we're gonna clean the machines, and I'm talking about so then they don't, because they got peanuts and people are allergic to that, so they have to, so it's not contaminated, right? Man, I've never deep cleaned something cleaner in my life, right? But we were there for 4 hours just cleaning up one machine or like 2 machines. I was thinking like, dude, this looks done to me. They're like, nah, we got to make sure people can get sick and sue this company. I was like, man, right? That was the hardest thing I think I've done as work related because I've never had a job. When I went home, I ain't even gonna lie. I called my girl and I told her, and then she's like, how was work? Whatever, man. I just started crying, dude. And I was like, man, I can't do this. And she's like, what? So what's wrong? I'm like, I can't do this. I've never worked. I don't know how this is that's how hard it was. Look how weenie that sounds like. That hard work was hard to an old man. But at the same time, like I said, I've never done something like that. I never had to do anything like that. So I cried to her, and then she's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Don't even go back. Just find a part-time job to help me. Because at the same time, I didn't want to be just some bum making my girl take care of everything. So I at least wanted to do what I could and paying some of the bills, right? So I ended up going to a Kmart. Now, mind you, I went there like not really caring if I got the job, but I spit the shit so real to the H&R lady that she ended up really hiring me. And I was thinking like, oh shit, because I told her straight up, hey, I got an ankle monitor on, I'm not allowed to do this. I'm not convicted of anything yet, but I'm just filing a case. I'm telling her this, right? Thinking that she's gonna say, you know what, sir, we'll call you back if we want you. We're gonna have other candidates. I'm thinking this because I'm thinking like maybe they'll not hire me, and then my girl at that time, she wasn't gonna be really tripping as long as I tried looking for a job. But The lady hired me. The lady's like, yeah, don't worry about it. We're gonna have to starting you. And I was like, oh shit. So that was my first part-time job. Was was Kmart, right? But that trips me out sometimes because now, like now, the guy Hugo is now, man, I think I work at a warehouse and then I do roadside as well. So I think I do 12-hour days every day. You know what I'm saying? Even other days I do even more hours than that. And now I don't care what it is. I'm gonna get the best at it. I'll be the best at it. I don't care what job you put me at. I will be great at it. That's just how I feel. I put all my wholesome mentality into doing that job, and I become that good at it. It does. It takes me lesser to understand it than it would take normal people because I'm just gonna put my whole all into it. Um, so I ended up so like I said, I ended up getting the part time job. While I got the part time job, and I was like, "Cool, this will work. This will work right now." Now, mind you, now I'm talking to my lawyer. Now it's getting closer to my like where I'm gonna have to start either taking it to trial or we're gonna see what's going on, right? Because they won't budge right now for the 5 years. Now, mind you, I would sit back sometimes and we would talk about the incident. You know, I'd be around my brother, my girl, my best friend, my people, right? And then I'd be like telling my brother, like, yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? Because I don't want to get into no jailhouse politics and shit. I really don't care about none of that, right? So I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just stay out the way. I heard you can go to school in there. It's the feds. I heard it's better than the state prisons. I'm gonna just try to. And my brother did 10 years, right? So my brother's like, hey, look, man, it's not gonna be how you just think it's gonna be, where you're gonna just go to school and not get, and that's just the way it's gonna be for them time, right? And I was thinking like, well, he's like, you can do it, you can go to school, but that's not what it's gonna just all it's gonna be like, you know. So I want you to understand that, so you don't go in there and just end up getting blindsided, right? And I was like, yeah, you're right. You know what? So I started talking to my lawyer. My lawyer's like, you know what? You having a job, it looks good. You going to these little meetings is looking good for your case. You know, just keep doing good. Just don't get in trouble whatever you do. My lawyer had so much faith in me. She's like, I knew you'll make it. I know you're gonna stay out of trouble. I believe in you when I talk to you that you're really tired of it. And at this time and point in my life, I'm not even lying. It was a blessing that I got caught. Like I know the guy that told on me, look, I don't wish no ill will with him. You know how sometimes you're walking on the street and you see someone across the street, you completely don't know them at all. That's how I like to be with that cat. I've never known him in my life. I can live my life like that. I don't wish no ill will. It is what it is. It happened, right? So like I said, I'm still fighting this case, and then my lawyer's telling me like some of the things look good, right? Well, I was sitting down one day and I was thinking like, dude, why am I gonna wait to go to prison to get my GED when I'm just sitting here fighting my case and might as well just go to school now? I ain't doing nothing. They're allowing me to go to school. That's another thing I can do is go to school, right? So I was like, I might as well go do that, right? So I put myself in school. I started going to school for my GED. Now I'm having a part time job, and I'm going to meetings. I'm going to church, and I got the thing I just said. I forgot. But anyways, so I have all that going on for me, right? So then my lawyer called me back one day and she's like, "Hey, look, the lowest that we can get you, and this is the lowest we can take. We can get you." 'Cause I talked to them, the DA. They're offering 36 months. I think that's 3 years. Yeah, 36 months, 3 years, right? And I'm like, that's the lowest, because I thought I had action in the sense that we could have found that tape or whatever. But like I said, Walgreens, they don't keep none. They don't keep. Probably keep the video for like 2 weeks. Um, so she's telling me the lowest you can go is 3 years. I was like, man. Now every day, now you gotta understand something about life. Don't take it for granted. The people that are in it. I think the reason why this jail thing really bothered me is because I knew on the outs I had a lot of people that I was gonna let leave behind. Like I had a lot of good people. My brother, the girl, my brother, my other my best friend, right? I had them people, and I know it's gonna hurt them as much as it was gonna hurt me to leave, right? So every day I woke up. Imagine waking up every day to some woman that you love, right? You're just sitting down every day and looking at her and thinking like, damn, I'm gonna be gone. Like we're laying down now, but in less than a year, I'm gonna go turn myself in to go do, you know what I'm saying? So I ended up signing the 3 year deal. Is that the lowest we can get it? She's like, you know what? That's the lowest we can get it. That's the best we can do it. And then I was like, well, then you know what? I'll sign it. So I signed it. I went the thing, and I signed a 3-year deal. Now, like, mind you, I'm over here getting mind fucked every day. Every day I'm starting to get depressed, more depressed because I'm looking at this girl, I'm looking at my brother, I'm looking at my people. Like, man, one day I'm gonna see them. The next day I'm gonna be behind a jail cell. And I'm not gonna see them for a while, right? And I already spent like 10 years away from my brother. So to me, I was more heartbroken about that. Like, just to keep like missing each other because of stupidity. Things that were just stupid, that weren't worth nothing, right? But I guess, like I said, it was a blessing because this is what made me grow. This is, like I said, there is a before 2016 and an after 2016. This is a 2016 after. So this is what made me grow. So I was already ready. Now my mind said I'm about to do 3 years in federal state prison. This is how set I was. I stopped eating top ramen and I stopped eating sandwiches. I know, because when we're in jail, that's what you eat. You eat sandwiches every day for lunch, and you have top ramen in there. That's one of their little commissary, whatever bullshit, right? So I quit completely eating those. I said, nah, I'm gonna do this for 3 years. I'm not gonna do that now, right? So mind you, I'm still going to court. I signed a deal. The next court date I have is my sentencing date. That's the day where I go in and they tell me, hey, the day they tell me, like, hey, you're gonna you plead to this deal, and I say, yeah. They say, okay. Next thing is your turn in date, right? So this date right here, I'm taking the deal, is what, not the deal, but the 3 years I had signed for already, right? So mind you, I'm still working. I'm going to classes. I'm going to church, and I'm just still doing good. I haven't gotten in trouble with none of that, right? Still always a good drug test. I don't do drugs. So I had no problem with that. I was kind of like, man, you guys can test me every day, right? So, anyways, I think, let me see. I ended up quitting. Kmart, and I got another job with my brother. I think in Lathrop, and it was some like ghetto factory, right? Ghetto factory, but hey, they hired anybody. So at that time, I was going to court. I was at that job, and anyways, my lawyer called me. She goes, "Hey, the DA and the judge want to see me." I go, and I think, like, let's say my court was on a Monday, right? Well, she got to call me and told me on the Friday that they want to see her. And I was like, well, what does that mean? And then she goes, well, it's usually a good thing. She goes, oh, so I forgot to tell you. So look, your boy ended up getting the GED. Well, I went back and put myself back in school, ended up getting that GED, right? And then they tried to make me take the test, but I told them I'm not ready yet. So I put myself back in school, and I did another semester of it. Then when I took the test, passed that first time. You dig? Anyways, I ain't gonna lie, I was really proud of myself for that, straight up, because I did put in the work. I read, I did everything that I didn't do since, I think I dropped out at 9th grade, 10th grade, but I was really smart. I'm really smart, street smart, and I'm book smart when I put myself to it. Um, so that's why I was able to pass them after almost 20 years of no school at all. So mind you, I had got my GED. So then my lawyer had told me, she goes, we're gonna present this to the judge. I go, what? She's like, everything you've been doing. She's like, maybe they'll give you, something better than the 3 years. We're not saying it's gonna work, but they might. I go, okay. So like I said, the judge had called my lawyer, and the DA, they had called them, and then they wanted a meeting. So um my lawyer's like, I'm gonna call you when I'm done, and then I'll tell you what they said. I'm like, okay. I went to work. At lunchtime, I checked my phone. She called me. She goes, left a voicemail, said, call me. There's your lawyer. Whoop, whoop. I go, okay. I called her. I go, yeah. And then she goes, okay, listen to this. I go, okay. She goes, it's totally up to you. I can't tell you what to do. I could just tell you what they're offering. I go, okay. They go, the judge noticed that you've had a job since you've been fighting your case. Mind you, it's been like maybe a year and a half that this is all going through. She goes, that I ended up getting reference character letters of who I was, of what kind of person I was. I had like 3 foster parents of mine. Right, I ended up having, like, let's say, about 30 letters from people that had amazing jobs, like county jobs and stuff like that. People's moms that knew me growing up, like, everyone kind of stood up for me. You know what I mean? Everybody was vouching for me because they knew I was a good kid. I was just misdirected. That's all it was. I'm learning life, right? If every day you're living life and not learning something, you really ain't living life. You know what I mean? Life, take advantage of it. Don't always just think about the bag. The money's cool, but at the same time, it's better to learn some. So I had 30. I had about 30 reference letters. I got my GED. I'm going to school. I mean, I'm going to church. I'm going to the NA meetings, and then I'm going to and I have a job, right? So this is all presented to the judge. This is my lawyers over there telling them shooting to see, you know what I mean? And it was like a hit in the dark, a hit and miss in the dark. We were gonna get it, or we weren't. Anyway, so she said, "Call me," right? So I called her back. I go, "Yeah," and then she goes, "Hear me out. Like I said, I can't tell you what to do. I can only explain the deal." I go, "Okay, go ahead." Now, mind you, my best friend would go to court with me sometimes, right? When my girl couldn't. And we seen the judge, the federal judge, give off years like candy, like 10, 15. Oh, you didn't listen, woo, 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 10, 7. And I would look at my best friend, who would look at me, be like, would be like, damn, they're just shooting. Well, I remember one dude ended up getting love, and I looked at my boy and I go, man, I wish they would that to me. He's like, no, that would be sick, right? So now fast forward to when my lawyer's talking to me on the she's like, look, the judge is offering you 5 years federal probation, no prison time, but if you violate your probation, you'll do 10 years. And she goes, so you can do the 3 that you already signed for, or you can do this deal right here where it's 5 years. And I told her, I go, well, look, if I go to prison, right? She goes, yeah. And I go, and I come out, want to have a 3-year tail on parole. And then she goes, yeah. And I go, then that would make no sense to go to prison and come out and still have them on my tail for 3 more years. That to me made no sense. It's like doing 5 years. I'd rather do 5 years out here with my woman, my brother, my people, right? So she goes, call your girl, talk about it, and then call me back. I go, all right, hang up, make the phone call. She said, man, you better take it. I'm like, hell yeah. And then I called her back, and then so my lawyer's like, look, so what happened? I'm like, yeah. She goes, well, that's a good, I believe you'll do good. I believe you'll make it. She's like, it seems like you pretty much ready to change your life. And because I speak the truth. So I was telling her, I was like, man, I was tired of life. Look, I was tired of that. God saved me. Me personally, I believe in that. I was tired of that life. You don't understand that stress at the end. It wasn't fun and games no more. The money didn't even recuperate for all the stress that it gave me. So so that's when I told her, yeah, we'll take it. She goes, okay. She goes, I'll go, we'll take that deal. She goes, okay. So we went to court. We had to go to court on Monday. Now, mind you, I'm gonna talk about this later on. This is the first time I think in my life I knew what depression was. I didn't know what it was before. I'll talk about that later on in another video about depression. But I've never in my life was depressed till this happened. This right here started changing me, and I think it's because I had to live my life. I couldn't smoke or drink or do things, right? So I had to live my life straightforward, sober. So every emotion I had to hit forward straight, and there's some emotions I couldn't understand. So that depressed me. But that's another story, right? What I'm saying is this. So I was talking to so I went to court, right? Now mind you, when I would go to court, this federal court, it's in like downtown jail where you can just go in your little nightgown and just get up and go to court. I was dressed to the T. I had a tie on. I had a button-up shirt, slacks. I was always looking up to par, the girl I was with. You know what I'm saying? Blonde hair, blue eyes. The rules based on looks, that helped me out. And believe me when I say that helped me out. So I went to court. The judge calls me up and tells me, Mr. Martinez, he reads out the thing, tells me about the deal. He said, what do you think about the deal? And then he goes, it's up to you. And I was like, well, yeah, I want to take it. He goes, well, now listen, if you violate, I'm going to give you 3 times the amount than what you signed for here. You know that, right? And I go, yeah, I understand. He's like, okay. He's like, because I'm trying to tell you that I'm going to give you this opportunity to live your life. From what I've seen, what you're doing, from the letters of people talking about you, from the way people, from all the progress you've done, it seems like you really changed and you really want to try to change your life around. He's like, now, you taking this deal is telling me that you're willing to take your own life in your own hands and you're willing to start doing, what you want to do in life, right? But if you violate to me, what it's telling me is that you can't control your life and you want me to do it, and I'm going to give you 10 years. Ask about me. My name is O'Neal, Judge O'Neal. And I looked at him, I go, you know what, Mr. O'Neal, I've seen you give people that many times in that many years, so I'm going to make it, you know. He's like, okay, Mr. Martinez, so go ahead and good luck. And I go, okay, thank you. And then he goes, I go, okay, thank you. Man, that was a relief. I was like, you don't understand. I felt like I dodged a bullet. Like I said, I feel like someone was watching me from up above. But I got on probation, right? Couldn't do nothing. I went to see my probation officer, right? She tells me, hey, I like my people to stay on with me for about 3.5 years, 3 years. And if they do good and no mess up, no nothing, and they can maintain employment and all that, I like to give them early release. That to me was like, what? I don't even have to do 5. I could just do 3. I'm gonna shoot that. So I told her, hey, whatever her name was, I go, it's nice to meet you. I'm glad that I'm going to be knowing you for 3 years. And she started laughing, right? She goes, is that right? I'm like, that's a fact. I go, hey, that's a fact. You're not going to have no trouble out of me, and I'm going to make it early. Watch. You'll see. And then she goes, okay, well, we'll see. Boom. Anyways, look, my house, like I said, keep our stuff clean, right? It's not ever cluttered. So when they would come visit me, they would just walk in, look around, and it would look just spectacular. And then they'd be like, okay, she would call me and tell me when she's coming. That was even more crazier. I would still have to call that number to see if I get drug tested. That went off for the whole 3 years or whatever, or however long I stayed on it, right? The whole time. Now, mind you this, when I went to after the case was over, now I was going to see my probation officer. I was having a job, and she was just, now I was lax. Now I was more lax. They wasn't really tripping off me no more. So then, after all that, right, and I was thinking like, man, there's a rainbow at the end of the tunnel. But I'm going to tell you something right now. This was crazy about life, about making mistakes, because you know what? We're going to make mistakes. We really are. The only time you're ever sorry when you make a mistake is when you get caught. Let me say that in Spanish. I'm just playing. Let me say that again though. We're all gonna make mistakes. The only time that you feel bad is when you get caught. So don't make mistakes, man. It's okay to make them, but try not to make them. But anyways, look. So I think there's been a couple times while I was on federal probation, I risked my life by taking a hit or two of some weed, which that was the stupidest shit in the world, dude. Now that I look back, I was thinking, dude, I was wasting my life over this boy ass shit. You know what I mean? Like, anyways, I'm still growing. I'm still learning. It ain't, I have to make mistakes for me to grow. You know what I mean? Now I ain't making detrimental mistakes, but this one was. But what I'm saying is, I got over that, right? I started doing really good. My probation, I had to call them because they stopped checking up on me for like a year. And I was like, hey, man. And I lived right down the street. I lived on the same street as them. Like literally, like the federal probation is over there in Modesto. It was Stanford and Carver. Right there. Boom. That was the building, the federal building, right? Where your probation stuff's at, right? Hey, I live down the street. I live like 2 minutes from them. They never seen me, and I had to go up there and pull up on them when they gave me a new probation officer. He said that he would come. They never came. I always pulled up on them like, hey, what's up, man? I wanted them to know that I was serious about this. I was like, look, if you guys ever think that I'm doing anything stupid or illegal, just follow me. Because if you guys follow me for however long you guys want to follow me, you're going to be like, man, this guy is boring. All he does is work. That's all this guy does is work. Nothing else but work. You know what I mean? So I was like, come follow me. Like, see my life, right? Now, anyways, look. So that's all going on. Everything's going good. Everything going lovely. I remember, your boy was getting fat. I'm a good solid like 185 right now, right? Jiu-jitsu shape, right? But while I was on house arrest and doing all this, I blew up to like 235. I was a little fat boy. I guess no one tells you you're fat when you're fat, right? So I remember my girl had told me, she goes, we need to get in shape. I go, okay. She goes, if you go to the gym for 30 days, I will pay for your jiu-jitsu. And I looked at her, I was like, what? And then she goes, yeah. And I'm like, for real? She goes, yeah. I was like, okay. Shoot that shit, right? So she goes, all right, cool. We ended up going to the gym. First day, hit the gym. Bah, bah, bah. You know, you go. You know, when you first hit the gym, you think you can go tough. You go tough. The next day, you're like, oh, my arms, my back, my legs, right? Well, that happened. That happened bad. It happened so bad that I don't think we can go to the gym for like 3 days or 4 days because our bodies hurt so much from it, right? But listen to this. So she had said that, right? And I had good intentions of going to the gym and getting in shape. But I was telling you, when I was at the gym, I was thinking in my mind, looking in the mirror, and I was thinking like, damn, people just come in here and flex on each other. You just want a hot bod. I want a nice little six pack. You want to get guns. You want to be cut, nice shoulders, legs, glutes, whatever. But I was thinking like this is kind of dumb. If I'm gonna be in shape, I want to be in shape where I can be some kind of like martial artist or something, right? So, anyways, one day we're driving down Briggsmore, going down towards Coffee. I turned to right real quick, and I looked up to my left, and I seen Home Sweet Home, Charles Gracie Jiu Jitsu. I pulled up. I was with my girl. She goes, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Hold up." I even put my finger in her mouth, like, "Hold up," because she goes, "What are you doing?" I go, like, "Hold up." So she's like, I jumped out the car. I opened up the door, and I go, "What's up, man? Where's Charles?" And like everybody stopped and looked at me, and I go, "What's up, man? Where's Charles?" And then there's this guy, right, the head instructor, right, looked at me. He goes, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm looking for Charles. This is Charles Gracie's, right?" And he goes, "Yeah, but Charles is the main teacher in Tracy. I'm the main teacher here. My name is Carl." I go, "Oh, okay. My name's Shigo." I go, "I want to do jujitsu." He's like, "Okay, well, you got to do an introductory class first." I go, "Okay." He goes, we'll set you up with a date. You can come. I go, all right, cool. So we set up a date. It told me when to come. I think it was like some kind of Monday. That was beginner's class. I was like, all right, cool. I left. I jumped back in the car. I told, she goes, what happened? I go, I got an introductory class on Monday. She goes, oh, okay. She goes, oh, wow, are you ready for that? And I'm like, man, I'm ready for it, right? Now, that's the end of this story because the next story is going to be called Fighting. This is the part where I'm going to tell you how I started my jiu-jitsu journey, my first day in it. And it's amazing. Anyways, I just want to say this to everybody out there, man. Be kind to everybody. Be kind. I'm going to tell you why you want to be kind. I guarantee you've never had one bad day with you being kind. If you're good to people, genuinely, not because you want something back or just because that's what you are, you're just a genuinely good person to people, you can never be mad. How can you being good to everybody make you mad? You know what I'm saying? Like if you're good to everybody, just genuinely good. Hey, what's up, man? I hope you're having a good day today. Whoop the whoop. You know what I'm saying? I hope. How you doing? Oh, you doing good? Oh man, it's amazing, man. You won this or you came up on this. That's great, man. Right? If you're just tell me when is there time for any? How can you be mad? You can't be mad if you're just a good person to everybody. Nothing in life is gonna hit you that hard. Like I said, don't ever get comfortable being comfortable. Because any given moment, anything can get taken from you. Whether it's a relationship, a job, life. So enjoy yourself, man. Stay blessed. And I'll see you on the next one. And it's about fighting. I know this one was a little long, but hey, you know what? The last part, man. And that's how I got blessed with only 5 years federal probation, no prison time. God bless all y'all.